Hi guys, ProfChipPod here, and unfortunately I messed up the audio levels in the live com of this. So you were going to have a live com, but I'm going to have to repost on this because you couldn't hear a word of what I was saying and it was painful to watch. So here we go, we have Dadahabib's team. He's brought the Haxorus, Volcanion, Azelf, Sandslash, Lopunny and Meowstick, male, so male gets Prankster. You can see here he's got his four big offensive threats, and he hasn't really got any bulk whatsoever, unless he's running like an AV bulky Volcanion, but I don't think that's necessarily his best set. Here we look at this lead Azelf. He's either going to lead with, I'm assuming either a Lopunny or an Azelf lead. So I decide here to lead off with Mesprit, get off my rocks. I know he has the spinner in Sandslash, but that's one of my opportunities to set up with Manaphy or with but it's a Sandslash realistically. Once I get rid of that, I can freely T-bolt whatever on his team. I have to be careful around the Haxorus setting up and the Azelf setting up. If he gets up a nasty plot, I'm in real trouble, particularly if he does have the Psy Shock, because that means he'll break through my special wood to my Gudra. So here we start. I leave with Mesprit obviously to get up rocks. He leads Volcanion. Here I have a really safe switch into my Gudra, and yeah, I'm gonna really slow this down. Really safe switch to my Gudra. 21 is I'm AV Gudra. 21 is max roll for a Specs modest Steam Eruption. Here he switches into Sandslash expecting me to T-bolt. I instead decide he doesn't have a Draco Meteor switch in, so I'm going to click Draco Meteor, not really thinking about the Haxorus setting up, and absolutely nail the Sandslash. Now obviously I'm at -2. I am offensive, but I'm worried about him setting up. I really am. I can't afford to give him like a free Dragon Dance on the Switch, because then I'm in real trouble and I have to sack something off to get my Aggron in before I can force it out, and then he just goes straight back out into his Volcanion. So rather I expect him either to, if he attacks straight away, he'll go to -1 because of my GUI. I still have Manaphy to switch into Volcanion, and I can revenge it with Jolteon. It's a bit of a misplay in the end. I probably should have T-bolted the Sandslash potentially, but that's in the past now. So I just Draco Meteor here again. He Dragon Dances and I nearly kill him. Here is where I potentially should have sacked off my Gudra. Now, the fact that I stayed in, I think he assumes that I'm her man, and therefore he's going. I don't think he calcs the Steam Eruption against me. I think he assumes I'm going to be her man, so he dual drops here, and he reveals that he is Life Orb. I'm defensive. I kind of expect that I might be able to live 2 attacks, or if he locks himself into outrage, then I can switch in whatever next. I can switch an Aggron next turn. Basically, I decide that this is the least useful member of my team. In retrospect, this is probably a misplay. I probably should have sacked off Mesprit here, because this still deals with the Azelf, which is very threatening offensively. But he dual chops here and reveals Life Orb, which is great for me because it means he's only got 1 more hit. And so basically here, I think without that, I might have lived 2 Dragon Claws or 2 Earthquakes. I think I would have lived 2 Earthquakes. But anyway, and he finishes me off and goes out to Life Orb Recoil. Here I go straight back into Zapdos, I think, because it just does a number on his team. Nothing really wants to take a T-bolt, and he goes into the Lopunny. Now I don't want to switch in Aggron. I'm not Mega Evolved yet. I can't take a high jump kick, so I stay in and kind of hope for some hacks. Static doesn't get triggered. I can take this just. He would need max roll adamant to take me out here. He got max roll there, or somewhere near high roll. So I stay in and I HP flying, trying to take out the Lopunny. Chunks from Meowstick nicely. Here I just T-bolt. Don't know what he's going to do. potentially set up screens, but the 2-bolt does some nice damage there, and I realise I can roost on this, which is probably a misplay, but I probably should have just T-bolted. But he doesn't set up a light screen, which is quite nice. I'm quite fortunate, and I T-bolt again. Oh, HP flying, but in case of a switch, and can't really remember why I did that. But anyway, he goes back out to low pony, and here I switch out into my Phantom Limb on the fake gap. Probably a misplay, imbalance. I probably should have sacked off Manaphy, or potentially the thing. The reason why I went into this is because I could sub, and if he was not like Clay, which because he didn't set up a light screen, so I assumed he wasn't like Clay, was just regular. Reason why, so I could set up sub and get rid of reflect. However, this is not the case, and here I kind of have to sack off my Phantom Limb, even when it potentially could have swept. So, which is, yeah, not ideal at all. But he does reveal he has no quick attack. So he basically goes, I jump here, go into Agron, heavy slam goes from here, so I don't have to superpower. I force him out into the Volcanion, and again, I have the safest switch in the world. I mean, heavy slam does nothing. It's 4 times resisted behind a thing, but I could not risk him deciding just to. Well, I didn't have Earthquake on it, and I kind of regret that in prep. Toxic didn't really give me anything, and I couldn't predict the high jump kick. It was not worth doing. So here, Wide Whale, switching again. A bit unfortunately, he misses, and he didn't burn either. It's a bit unfortunate for him, but I still think I would have been okay, unless I'm being burned first turn. But it's not really worth playing that game, working out what would have happened. I 2 at KO with the T-Bolt. Volcania didn't really it's just hard walls by Gudra. It really, really struggled to take it on. And here he is, he goes back out to the low pony. Now here I sack the Gudra because it means I get the GUI. Now, that's not ideal, and I'll explain why that's not brilliant next turn. I expected his Azelf to have Side Shock, and therefore I expected to be able to hit my Gudra, or I expected it to be physical, and therefore I could hit my Gudra. Turns out he had Psychic, which is not ideal, but still it means the low punny is at minus speed, and my Zapdos can pick it off. He goes at Azelf and reveals Life Orb Psychic. I was staying in T-bolting basically to prevent him from getting up a nasty plot, because that would have really, really hurt him. And here I'm quite worried now, because I don't think Skull would not KO. I think I'd need like a max roll burn and then 2 rounds of Life Orb recoil to actually take it out. What I do realise though is Timid max special attack Fire Blast from Life Orb does at most 94% to Mega Aggron. So if he's modest, basically here I have to hope he's not modest. He reveals Flamethrower. I believe that's Timid damage, but I just click Heavy Slam and take him out for game. That was really, really close. He had such a threatening team, and I think my prep was not that good this week. I over-prepped sort of for his defensive things. I over-prepped expecting him to bring a defensive team, which I could set up on and take advantage of. Whereas he brought a defensive team, and I kind of missed sacking. I kind of missed having the reliable switch-ins, which I could have had. And again, I did misplay to a certain extent. I probably should have tried to get Rocks. Well, no, Rocks turn 1 would have been a mistake. But Volcanion Leap was good on his end. But it was just there was a couple of times where the sacks I made weren't ideal, or I read into things a bit too much, and potentially could have lost this match because if it was modest Fire Blast, my Aggron could have gone down in one hit, and then I was relying on hoping that he didn't have T-Bolt or Energy Ball, which but I'm pretty sure he would have had, along with nasty plot, sidekick, fire blast, and one of those to his coverage. So he could very, very easily have won that late game. So I'm not too happy with how I played this week. I mean, a threatening team, and he's a good player, but on another day I could have lost that match, and I didn't play as well as I potentially should have. It might be the post-com. No, it might be because I was doing a live com at the time. We'll wait to see that, but I may not be doing a live com next time. Thanks very much for listening, and I hope to see you next week for my next match, which is against Shafted Simisir of the Tampa Bay Rayquaza. I think he's I think it's against him. I think he is potentially also 3-0 after this week. This takes me to 3-0. Takes Dada to 1-2, which is kind of not a particularly flattering record, seeing as all his matches have been quite close. And first match, he was definitely unlucky to lose up. He was definitely unfortunate with a crit on his on 1-1 for that, and it ended up being a 1-0. So he might had that crit not happened, he might have won that, but that's hyperbole. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next week.